It is a truth universally acknowledged that every single person has heard of Pride and Prejudice. But if you haven't, here is some context for you. Written by Jane Austen in the year 1813, the book Pride and Prejudice follows the story of Elizabeth Bennet. Liz is the second daughter of 5 sisters. They all live simple and comfortable lives, as their father makes enough money to support all of them. But since Mr. Bennet does not have a son as his heir, the girls need to secure their future through matrimony. That is when Mr. Bingley and Mr. Darcy come to the story. The two friends are the heads of the wealthiest families in the country. They are an example of grace and luxury. In the 2005 adaptation, the director, Joe Wright, highlights the different status between these three families by the use of mise-en-scène, more specifically by composition of the scenario and characters. The movie starts with a peaceful Lizzie walking to her house with a calming song as background. As soon as we enter the Bennet household, this quietness is disturbed. Lizzie's sisters, Jane, Lydia, Kit, and Mary, are first presented to the audience.
Lydia? Lizzie?
We have Lydia and Kitty coming down the stairs and laughing, Jane reprehending them, a dog in the middle of the house barking, and Mary playing the piano, disturbing the peace of the previous scene. The camera soon shifts to Lizzie walking to the house, but without first showing us the messiness of fabrics, clothes, and food on the kitchen table. This quick introduction is enough to tell us the dynamic of the family. That is usually a chaotic environment where Liz and Jane's sisters are constantly creating unpleasant situations. The chaos of the house is a representation of the family as a whole. As in almost every scene, we can hear loud noises such as screams and animals. As well, sometimes the angle shots make the environment seem crowded and messy. These scenes are the extreme opposite of the ones at Mr. Bingley and Mrs. Darcy's houses. Throughout the movie, you can see that the director makes extensive use of symmetry. However, by making more use of this technique at Darcy's and Bingley's house, Wright's create an aesthetic pleasure that enhances their wealth status to the viewer. It is important to note that the symmetry by itself does not create a sense of luxury. However, the extensive use of perfect symmetry during the scenes makes the spectator create this connection. As well, the lack of symmetry in the Bennet's house is a contrasting and crucial method to infer this to the audience. Perfect symmetry creates this sense of order and politeness that is the opposite of the Bennet household. For example, in the scene in the Bennet's house, we have symmetry, but the gates are posed differently, meaning disorder. While in this scene in Bingley's house, every object is perfectly settled to create a perfect reflection of the opposing side. Overall, the aspects mentioned create and enhances the character's personality.
How, sir?
It was the lack of propriety shown by your mother, your 3 younger sisters, even on the occasion of your father. You and your sister, I must exclude.
What most highlights the lack of decorum of the mentioned characters during the movie is their disturbance to the order and peace. For example, in this sequence, the Bennet family sits all in one chair.
What an excellent room you have, sir.
By all 4 sitting on one sofa, the room becomes asymmetrical, which breaks the perfectness of Bingley's house. This action is a symbolic gesture of how these characters lack decorum. One important aspect is how Jane and Lizzie are often represented as a separate unit of the family, to distance them of these negative characteristics. Overall, the director creates a crucial distinction between the Bennet family, Liz, Jane, Mr. Darcy, and Bingley by using symmetry and asymmetry in the scenarios and shots.